Hey there, Kevin Kolbe here, and I am excited to be talking to my friend, my co-creator, the guy who's hooked me up with more free swag than probably Fox when I used to work with him years ago, Rob Balasabas. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing, Kev?
I
Excited
am
to be here with you, man.
fantastic. I think you were one of the first people I interviewed a while back on my channel when I was doing interviews. So we kind of brought it full circle.
That's right. That's right. That's right. One of
Um,
many more to come. This just goes back and forth.
I hope so. Well, I tell you what, for those folks that probably the 5 or 6 people watching this or listening to this on the podcast that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, let's go way back to 1981. No, I was joking. We won't do that to the folks here. Yeah, no, it's Rob Balasabas. I'm head of partnerships at Uscreen. We are a video monetization platform. So I handle our affiliate program. I work with our content creator partners, our influencer partners, different brands. So that's what I do. I'm a creator as well. I have a YouTube channel where I do tutorials and live streaming and vlogging more actually lately. And so, I love the creator economy. I love, working with creators. I think it's a fantastic type of person that is a creator, creating content. So, yeah, that's a little bit about my personal life, my professional life. Sorry.
So Rob, as growing up as a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, that's a good question, Kev. Nobody asked me that. That's a really good question. I actually wanted to grow up initially because my old man, he used to fix point of sale systems, cash registers and stuff. And before that, he was an electrician. So as a kid, you kind of grow up wanting to be your dad. So I wanted to be an electrician.
Wow.
And then when I was in high school, I started seeing guys. I think I watched. I think it might have been Boiler Room. Remember that movie
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
yeah, Ben Affleck and those guys. And I wanted to be a stockbroker. I wanted to be a guy, a suit. And so I actually went into college
Yeah.
as I went to college for financial management, accounting. I did that for a year, Kev, and switched to marketing the second year. So uh, I'm like, man, I can't do balance sheets and all this stuff. Even
Oh
to
yeah.
this day, my wife takes care of all the finances. It's just not my jam. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a suit. I wanted to do the stockbroker thing. I wanted to work in a big, tower and glass
Yeah.
tower and do the thing. And but yeah, marketing became my thing. So
So do you remember like creating your first video? What do you even remember what it was? What you did?
um I remember my first live stream, my first video for work was, I think, when I was still at Thinkific, and we would do these monthly updates. So we would turn our newsletter into a video on YouTube.
Mhm.
And so the video guy would grab just random team members, and we get to say a little part. And that, I think that was my first work video. And yeah, it was horrible. It was like I had a teleprompter, and then they would do it. This is the day when people were working in an office, and so they would do it right in the middle of the office, and everybody's working on. And then you would like be, and for like an, for a shy person that's never done videos, it was like
Mhm.
just a nightmare. And so that was my first, I think, kind of foray into work videos. And then I remember my first live stream was with Eric Sue. So he runs an agency in LA, and they invited us to do a live stream, and I did it from my phone. And then I mean, I ended up being sideways because it was on the phone. I ended up being sideways like for, I don't know, 3 4 minutes. He didn't even know. I realized it afterwards. But yeah, those first videos are never
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. But you survived. That's the
I
important.
survived. Yeah, yeah. The world still kept on going. So yeah, it's fine.
So, what is it about being a content creator? Because you said that of yourself, and it's in your bio too. What is it about being a content creator that you love?
Man, it's a good question. I think it's for me, it's a form of expression. It's telling your story. As a content creator, I've been able to improve so many other skills. I don't have a YouTube play button. I don't have like 100,000 subscribers, but being a content creator has certainly opened doors and opportunities for me that I don't think I would have had in a traditional sense in terms of a career move or career path. Um, so, even now talking to, younger people, and,
Mm.
every now and then I'm invited to talk to my old high school and some of the senior students there. And I say, start creating content, because, a lot of people don't look at resumes anymore. A lot of companies don't look at resumes. Like
Mm.
if you want to get into certain fields, of course, but yeah, and it's just a form of expression. It's a creative outlet for me. I've really grown to like, having a camera around and documenting. I think having kids made me like having cameras and kind of capturing those moments. And so yeah, as a content creator, I mean, it's such a broad term, but yeah, for me, it's definitely those things, capturing moments and telling your story, and
Mhm.
kind of looking back, and then also the sort of side effect skills that it's allowed me to grow and build for myself. And then also just the friends that have actually made, man, like
Yeah.
it's so cool. Like I know we chat a lot offline, and
Yep.
a lot of, yourself included, Kev, like a lot of my content creator online friends, I feel much closer to them than, some of my like in-person friends, so
Yeah.
um yeah, content creation has just been such a cool thing, over the last few years.
So now, obviously, you're a content creator, but I mean, you've been creating content as well for you were with Thinkific and then
Yep.
TubeBuddy and now Uscreen. Is there a common thing or maybe things that you see other content creators struggling with?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Different. I think at different stages, content creators have a struggle of some form.
Hmm.
When you're starting out, you kind of struggle like, who am I going to be on YouTube or on social media? What kind of videos should I talk about? Either they have too many ideas or they don't have any, of like what to
Hmm.
talk about. This morning I was talking to a friend of mine, and he wants to create content around project management, but also health, but also NFTs. It's like, yeah, it's hard to, so I
Yeah.
think that, and, some of the, more established creators that I talked to, they struggled to like, what do I focus on? I've got so many
Mm.
opportunities, and what opportunity will be here a year, 2 years, 5 years from now? Like, what's worth my time? And so it becomes more of that kind of a struggle. I don't have enough time. I need an editor. I need to
Yeah.
scale. So I think content creators in all stages have different struggles. Just like any business. So yeah, I think for the most part, it's that. It's just making decisions, and I think just like most businesses, it's
Yeah.
like, man, there's what do I focus on? What do I do?
Yeah.
That's kind of the struggle, the overlaying.
Let me ask your opinion on something. So I know that a lot of times, and you mentioned it too about editing and things like that. And one of the things I see a lot, I think, is that especially newer creators,
Yeah.
I think they want to outsource too quickly.
Mhm.
I just don't know anything about editing, so I need an editor, and I don't know anything about thumbnails, so I need that and graphics. Do you think that happens that new creators outsource too soon before kind of getting their feet wet and figuring it out?
Um, in general, I don't. In general, I don't think they do. For the most
Mm.
part, I think a lot of creators find it hard to outsource. It's either they find it hard to find someone, or they find it hard to let go of the thing that they like to do,
Ah,
which
yeah.
is, it's like, oh no, I don't. Nobody will ever edit as good as me, and nobody can do, thumbnails as good as I can, and they don't know my style and all this stuff, which
Mhm.
is definitely not true, because everything can be teachable, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
hardest one is being on camera. Nobody can replace Kev on camera, until we get like, some real advanced
I don't
deep
know if that's
fake
a
and
good thing, though.
technology and all that. But yeah, I think that's sort of the hardest part. And so at the same time, I think it's important for a creator to know all the aspects of creating and
Mm.
that whole process. and whether it's like editing or filming or lighting or scripting or all of those aspects as a creator. I think creators need to know that and then outsource it. Like
Yeah.
if you don't know, like you need to know your own process, and just as a business owner, how long it takes you to edit a video. Like
True.
Kev, you probably know, like to edit a tutorial, you probably know
Yeah.
approximately how many hours it should take. So now when you talk to an editor and they're like, well, it's going to take this many hours, or this is my fee, and you're
Hmm.
like, that's like 3 times it takes me. So like, what are you doing? So you
Yeah.
need to understand, just like a CEO understands all aspects of his business. He may not be doing it, but he understands it enough to make like, okay, well, that's that process is a little too slow, or you could do it better. But then also, Kev, like for talking in terms of being a full-time creator, you also need to be you also need to understand the business side before you start
Hmm.
outsourcing that. I do know like some creators that want to get a manager too quickly, but like, what is the manager going to do for you? Like, what
Yeah.
do you know? What kind of outreach they're doing? Do you know the proposals they're putting out? Like, do you know,
Hmm.
like, so what are the deliverables they're promising and pitching to brands on your behalf? Like, you need to know a little bit of that process, and the only
Yeah.
way to know that is to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Then bring on a manager and say, hey, this is my baseline, now
Yeah.
do your thing and improve on it. But yeah.
That's good advice. And I think I saw you talking about too once in a video, which I thought was genius. I haven't done this, but you actually laid out your process of your videos and things like that. So if you were to outsource it, that work's already done and somebody has an idea of that. So I thought that was a great pro tip that I hadn't even
Yeah.
done.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. YouTube itself is just it's like being good at YouTube or having success on YouTube is just a result of many little small steps that are
Hmm.
repeatable, I think. So I try to stick to that. But yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, here's my playbook, and
Yeah.
make it better for me. But at least you're not in the dark, and you can't, no one can take advantage of you because you're like, hey, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let me tell him all the things. But like, yeah, so yeah, having your own process down is really important.
What is your favorite social media platform to create for and why?
YouTube.
Mm.
I mean, if you asked me 3 or 4 years ago, Kev, I would probably say LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, in terms of growing organically, was very beneficial for me. I found it, a really good place to connect professionally and organically. You're able to, show up, and grow your audience organically pretty easily. But then there was a bit of a ceiling in terms of who you could reach, because it's sort of a closed capsule. There wasn't any search, and discoverability was a little bit difficult beyond who's on LinkedIn. So that's when I found, and I mean, I didn't find, YouTube has always been around, but that's when I kind of, really gravitated to YouTube. And
Mhm.
for that reason, like, hey, for the same effort, it's now out in the world, like, truly out in the world, because, people are on Google and searching, and, your videos can be found, and people are on YouTube. And so, yeah, I love YouTube. The whole culture of YouTube,
Yeah.
the creators on YouTube, the whole game, and behind it is fun. So yeah, and what they're doing for creators, in my opinion, is arguably, probably, hopefully, I'm not going to get canceled for saying it, but I think YouTube is the one that is sharing its profits and its
Yeah.
revenue, as fair as it can be with creators out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, every platform is a business. I mean, it just
Yeah.
is. But then again, the fact that even the ones I may not care that much about, we're allowed to create for free on there. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, to me, the more I've gotten serious about YouTube, the more I realize how beneficial it can be personally and professionally, but it's fun.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
I would totally agree. Now, I want to kind of shift into creator economy and Uscreen and some things you're doing. Uh, but one of the things that I know you've done recently, because I joined it, thank you very much for the invite, is you created your own private membership group. And I know
Mhm.
that one of the things that you had before was Buy Me a Coffee. and then that you shifted it to this. So tell me about your decision to create your own private membership, and it's called Creators TV. And
Mhm.
just tell me kind of, why you decided to do that and where you see that going.
Yeah, for a long time, I've always wanted to build a proper membership. Even when I was at Thinkific, I was like, I think memberships are really the way to go here. Eventually, once I started creating content, I didn't really, initially you create content because you want to grow an audience and you want to have subscribers and you want to have vanity numbers and things like that. As I kind of matured a little bit more into the space and sort of the opportunity as a content creator, I was like, well, you know what? It is true. Like all the experts will tell you, don't build your business on rented land, which is what YouTube and all these platforms are: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And anything could happen. I mean, I think even this morning, I was going through my feed on Instagram and people, or on Facebook, and people are like, they're kind of like losing it because they're like, oh my gosh, where's all my TikTok videos? And it was only like when I checked it, and then a couple hours later, an hour later, it's like, oh hey guys, don't worry. Like some people were posting for fun, like, hey, don't worry, your TikTok videos are back. So
Yeah.
like anything can happen on these platforms, and changes can happen. And so I'm like, well, I want to build a community. You know me, Kev, like I love
Hmm.
community. I have, we're in different Facebook chats, private
Yeah.
chat groups and stuff like that. I just love building community, and I like people and I like connecting with like-minded people. So I was like, well, I'd really like to build a membership that then really focuses on that, where I can really deliver value for people and help them a little bit closer. I mean, in as a person, I've always thought like you can always impress people from a distance, but you can only really make changes and influence within proximity. And so you have to be close. You have to be
Yeah.
like in touch with people. I think a lot of people we see on YouTube and stuff, they're impressive, and you can impress people with what you can do, but how you can really influence change and affect, and you have to be in proximity. And so that's why I really like the aspect of community. And so now we have a Discord server. It was on Slack, Kev, right?
Yeah. I'm glad you moved
And
it. I
I
mean,
know.
I'm
And
still a noob on both, but I will say, being in a couple of other Discord servers, um, I think it's a little easier to pick up, at least for me, than Slack was. But I didn't mean
yeah.
to interrupt you, but yeah, you were talking about moving it
No,
to
no,
Discord.
no. I totally agree. I'm like, I was kind of yeah. So anyways, so it's on Discord and it's been really fun. It's a learning process for me. But now we have that community there and there's daily engagement, and then we're gonna, implement other things, workshops, guest, experts and things like that, to really help people move things along and move the needle for them, other creators. So and then also just wanted to build an email list. I think it's important. I know, again, all the experts will tell you, but it is overlooked. Many like many creators do not have an email list. They have a YouTube channel. Again, anything can happen to YouTube. You don't have their emails. What happens when your channel gets, closed down, or something happens to your channel, you lose it, whatever, gets hacked. There's so many things. You get strikes from YouTube for whatever reason. And so anything can happen there. So having an email list. So I really wanted to sort of future proof, what I'm building here. Even though it's not massive at the moment, I wanted to start building that. So email
Right.
list. And then really just having content off platform. So having content off platform, again, to serve the audience. YouTube is, and even more so other platforms, they're very much focused, Kev, on watch time and retention. And the
Hmm.
whole game is like, how much can you deliver in a short amount of time?
Yeah.
Otherwise, even if you're the most engaging person, you still have to be mindful that there are so many distractions on YouTube and other platforms.
Oh
There's
yeah.
videos on the sidebar, there's things popping up, and so I wanted to create content off platform where I could slow down. The audience and the person viewing is not in the mindset of like scrolling or what's the next thing, or like
Right.
like looking for. Slow down and let's go through this thing step by step. And so that's where platforms like Uscreen come in,
and allows you to do that, and also just makes it really easy for your audience to learn something, in a step-by-step manner, and so yeah, that's really the reason. I mean, community, the content itself on demand is just in better order, and then also
Right.
just building the email list. um, so here we are.
So I want to talk about Uscreen in just a second, but can do you recommend people, though, they have to be a certain size audience before they really think about a membership site and a community site? I think you've even referred to it, or should people even start that even earlier?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The email list should be something you start regardless.
Hmm.
The membership side, you should start building a community. So let's not talk about, well, membership, yes, down the road.
Okay.
Community should be something you should be thinking about right from day one. Whether you have one subscriber or whatever, like you should start thinking of, okay, where other than, because you got to look at platforms for what they're built for, right? YouTube is not built for community. YouTube is built for you to view videos and to be discovered as a creator. For the
Mm,
audience, it's to watch videos. I'm not coming to YouTube to connect with my crew or like talk to my friends, because it's not built that way. There's a
yeah.
community tab, but that's not a community platform. So use the platforms for what they're built for. TikTok, what is TikTok built for? Short form videos. All right, so then I'm going to make short form videos to get awareness for myself and then bring them
Right.
somewhere else. So build wherever you're building. My suggestion is build on YouTube or LinkedIn or anywhere, but use it for what it is, and then drive them to a platform that is built for community, such as Discord or Slack, one of those platforms, even a private Facebook group, right?
Right.
So yeah, as far as the membership, Kev, obviously you have to be mindful of costs.
Hmm.
There are places where you can build memberships. Uscreen is not the only player in the game. With Uscreen, Uscreen starts at around $99 a month. And so you have to think about that. And so if you're charging, let's say, $10 or $20 per member per month, you need a few members. And so you kind of do the math. Okay, well, I've got this many subscribers, so these people, so I can cover my costs. If you can cover your costs, then everything else is kind of, a bonus, right? And
Right.
so you just have to be mindful of that. But of course, yes, you need to have some content off platform, a membership. You then have the bigger question, Kev, is like, what are you offering the members
Mm,
in exchange for what they're paying you? And
right.
so you do have to think about that. You can't just, hey, I have a membership now, I'm here, and pay me. So you have to be strategic and intentional with, okay, here's the exchange. Here's the value exchange. You're going to get access to my community, to myself, maybe more, smaller group Q&A sessions or workshops,
Right.
something that they can't get necessarily from your YouTube videos. So,
That's powerful. Well, let's talk then a little bit more about Uscreen.
mhm.
And by the way, there will be a link in the description and the show notes, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it as a podcast. If you want to check it out, it is my affiliate link.
Yes.
But I'm going to throw that out there if you want to check it out. But just tell folks what Uscreen really is. I mean, is it a website? Is it a membership? Is it what is Uscreen, and why do I need it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So Uscreen is a platform that allows you to monetize your content, monetize your videos. So you can essentially build, the easiest way to explain it is you can build your own Netflix, right? You can have build your own Netflix. You can have Paygate, right? So you can charge a monthly fee for people to access and be involved in your own personal Netflix. You can also live stream inside of the membership portal, right? And so it's all web based initially. So you have that. Then you can also create courses. You can make, you can put videos together to make courses. And then also we're going to be launching our own community feature as well. So similar to a private Facebook group, you can have that inside of your Uscreen portal. Beyond the web-based version of Uscreen, Kev, we also can build OTT apps. So those are the apps that you see on Roku or Apple TV or Android TV, Fire TV. So we can build those white labeled for creators out there. And so that's sort of the next level where people can download your app and then watch you on their phone, cast you on their TV, because that's where a lot of the consumption of content is going. So yeah, that's what we do. And, we're working with tons of creators out there. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, send me an email too. If you do catch this and you use Kevin's link, send me an email and we'll make sure we give you some additional bonuses for sure.
So, and that's very kind of you,
Yeah.
and not surprising. I've known you long enough. So there was an article not too long ago from, I think it was Jim Louderback.
Yes.
And if I can kind of paraphrase it, his kind of hypothesis is that the creator economy is already going to be not a big thing in a short while, but moving more toward platforms like Uscreen and things like that. I don't know if you mentioned Uscreen, but you know what I mean in terms of really kind of, the days are quickly numbered where creators can make a lot of money this way, but this is the shift. Do you see that coming?
Yeah. I think we're already seeing that coming. I think, have you said it earlier, these platforms are businesses. And so we actually talked to Jim. We interviewed Jim right after that article about TikTok. TikTok is I don't know what the thing was, but like basically it was like his reaction to Hank Green's video about TikTok not paying creators enough. And so we interviewed Jim, and he basically, I think, to paraphrase him, is that there's, and I kind of agree, is that these platforms, don't be mad at these platforms. These platforms are just doing what they're supposed to do, which is basically to serve their shareholders.
Yeah.
Right. TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn, they're the boss, right? Those shareholders, investors. And so that's what they're there to do. Of course, they need creators and they need to have creators creating content, but that's not their priority over other things that they need to do with their business. And so as a creator, you can't be mad at that. You just have to play within those rules. And so that's why, he says, well, these are discovery channels and you need to make revenue channels. So they're different. And that's kind of where Uscreen kind of goes into that conversation, because Uscreen is not a discovery channel. You can't make a Uscreen, site or app and be discovered by people that don't know you, because we don't promote your app for you. You have to do that yourself. And so they have to go hand in hand. So you have to have discovery channels like YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. But then that's not necessarily where you're going to make money. You might make a little bit of money, through the creator funds or AdSense, super chats, but that's not where you're going to build a full-time business initially as a smaller mid-sized creator. You need to build other revenue streams, affiliate revenue, membership revenue, consulting, coaching. These are all revenue channels that you need to build. And so, yeah, that's kind of a long answer to your question. But yeah, I think I definitely agree, with what Jim said. And that's what I'm seeing with creators as well. They're launching their own, not just membership platforms, but they're launching their full-on business outside of this. They're looking at what are the tools I'm using. Okay, cool. Well, maybe I use these platforms to get royalty-free music. Why don't I just make my own music and sell that as well? And so it's an interesting shift that creators are doing, where they used to be the consumers, but now they're building the tools and the businesses that other creators are going to be using, which is interesting. And then there's the Mr. Beast who will build burger stands.
Yeah. I just found out the other day, evidently there's a Mr. Beast burger in our town. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I know where I'm going for lunch soon.
Well, there's a vlog idea right there.
So, I think it's interesting that your point though is that, if you look at the platforms as a way to reach people, to share a message and reach masses of people, whether it's YouTube or TikTok or whatever, but then look at something like Uscreen as a way to then maybe take it deeper, and really even impact folks on a more of a one-to-one level, but at the same time as a way to earn income as well. I mean, is that kind of a fair distinction between the two?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Be discovered on these platforms, create the content to be discovered, and then build, your business on other platforms where that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we designed Uscreen for, is for you to build your business on it, with your content. And so, that's just as simple as we can make it, right?
Mhm.
Because sometimes we're trying to put like a square peg in a round hole. Like, I want to build my business only on this
Mm.
thing. I want to build it on TikTok. And then you're getting all of these videos and you're uploading and you're getting all of these views. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, I'm only getting paid like this much for all
Yeah.
my efforts. Then again, you're trying to force it, where it's like, it could be just let it just work with the platforms the way they're supposed to work. Use the platform that you're given on to be discovered, and then find a way strategically and learn and study how you can take that audience from that discovery platform to your revenue platforms, whether it's Uscreen or affiliates or your own coaching and consulting, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But don't fight against it. Don't try to force
Yeah.
a platform to do something that it's not built to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I always find it interesting when people think the platform hates them. And it's like the
Yeah,
platform the platform doesn't care. The
yeah.
platform actually, I think most platforms want you to succeed
Hmm.
on their platform, because then it's more revenue for them and more eyeballs.
Exactly.
Is it
Yeah.
fair to say that Uscreen could work for entrepreneurs, but businesses as well? Anyone who has something that they want to put out there, is it only video driven, or is it only for entrepreneurs and content creators? Speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, no, we have businesses using us. We have brands using us, as well as associations. Like, we have all sorts of folks that use Uscreen. It is, yes, we're talking about right now in a way to make money, but a lot of brands will use it internally to do employee training, internal training, and that sort of thing. So there's use cases like that, sort of outlier use cases. But yeah, for the most part, we are working, and our marketing, as you will see, is towards the entrepreneur, creator,
Right.
small, like solo creator, or a creator team, because that's sort of like the one to many that we're able to service. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone that's
Mhm.
just starting out as a content creator? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would say, over the time that I've been creating, Kev, you know me, I've been, I'm not afraid to try new things. And I think that's probably the advice I'd give is, try a bunch of different types of content. Try to vlog, try to do tutorials, live streams like we do, Kev. Try shorts, and see what you like to create, and also see what YouTube and the audience on YouTube or whatever platform you're creating on likes to create as well. Don't overthink it when you're starting out, but be mindful of, like, hey, what do I want to do with this platform? Eventually, at some point, things will come around, and I will start growing. What do I want to do now? What kind of business model would I like to have? Would I like to just be sort of a creator and have something more passive? Or do I want to do sponsorships? What is my business model eventually? Because that will get to that. You will get there if you are consistent. And so, yeah, that would be my advice, and just try different things. Don't get caught up with algorithms are important, but also enjoy the process, because you can see Kev enjoys the process. He's always got a smile on your face, Kev, when you're making your videos and your thumbnails. So enjoy the process. Otherwise, I think this career will be
Yeah.
short lived.
Just where would be some of the key places people can connect with you?
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn. So if you guys, you'll see my content on YouTube, but if you want to DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn, if you have any questions or anything, yeah, don't hesitate. Love connecting.
And we'll definitely put a link in the description to Uscreen if people want to check that out, and also your private membership group too. I can tell you, I've been in some before, and I'm loving it. I'm digging it. I thought, well, we'll see how this goes, but it's great, and I think it's just the back and forth has been fantastic too. So,
Thanks, brother.
Hey, I think I told you before we started, even though I'm way older than you, I want to be you when I grow up.
Stop. Oh, man, no.
So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So make sure you guys connect with Rob. Check out Uscreen. Again, there's a link down there. It is an affiliate link, but check it out and check out his membership group too. There's a lot of other creators in there. They're really fun to connect with too. Hey, I hope you like this. Drop your comments down there, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. And I'm Kevin Kolbe. Keep using your gifts and make an impact in the world. And we'll talk again.